My name is Major Griefer, and today we are going to be playing a game called Stanley Parable. I haven't seen any gameplay of this in a while, so I don't remember how any of this goes. The only thing I can truly remember about this game is that you are an office worker being narrated by somebody. I think there's like multiple endings to this game as well too, and if I remember correctly, you can also disobey the narrator as well too. Other than that, let's begin.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
That sounds like a super boring job.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hey Jennifer, are you underneath the desk? No? What about you, Mike? Nope, he's not there either. Oh. Janet, why did you spill your coffee mug again? Now it's gonna leave a stain, Janet.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, door on his left. It's really bright out today.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
What?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. What the
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing
better to do
with my time.
Narrator, I'm trying to look at a presentation. If you want me to get a move on, don't make the presentation so interesting.
Amazing. A booby trap that actually catches boobies.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Steve took my pliers and put them in here. I'm looking for my pliers.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
I think those are my pliers, but I can't tell.
To you, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
To whom it may concern you.
Come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're
dead.
The responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. There's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. Decided to go up to his boss's. No, no, oh, no, 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 not
What?
again. I won't
What's
be
wrong?
part of this. I'm not going to
What's
encourage
wrong?
you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
Oh, come
I'm
on,
just
dude.
going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Oh, good, because I'm gonna need all the privacy I can get. All right, let's get started.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Let's see, 2849. Well,
2845.
2846.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story.
I want to go. I want to go back up. I don't want to be down here.
Straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't know. I mean, there's that door, but then there's also a path here that says escape. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards the path that says escape, if I'm going to be honest. Screw it. Let's go to the path that says escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Geronimo. Wait. What? Alright, well, I've had a good run. Wait, what?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. The machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? Who are you?
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
I guess let's actually do the story this time. Can somebody please explain to me why this guy has only a pencil sharpener at his desk while the rest of his coworkers have actual computers? I think I can tell who were the favorites and who wasn't. Awaiting input? Jesus Christ, this one was really far up.
Co-workers.
Hey, look, there it is. All right. So, we have the final input thing. All right. What the? I may have made a mistake. Is this thing seriously just saying buttons over and over and over again? You know what I realized? This isn't heaven. This is hell. Because if I'm having to be stuck in here with a bunch of buttons and people going, buttons, I would just like to leave. Thank you. They're still singing buttons.
2845. But of course, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. No, he refused to believe it. As the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. When at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so we've seen two different endings. We've seen the good ending, and we've seen the heaven ending.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Coffee nuts?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Or I could go straight.
Is someone you've been neglecting, Stanley? Someone you've forgotten about? Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Is it the ice cream lady? Oh, I haven't been to her shop in so long. Ever since this quarantine. Ow.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Bros before hoes.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? That wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Oh, no.
Please observe this helpful instructional
No,
video.
I don't want to see an instruction. No.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations.
Stephen, what is
or
that
he
tie?
could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
A what?
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part. And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
What? What
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, yeah, let's totally go.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. What did you get out of that?
A laugh?
I have to shut the game down.
No.
I have to.
No, you don't. Okay. What the? Jesus, what happened to this?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right, well, fine.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, that's bullcrap. Wait a minute. This is different.
Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code. Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall. Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
What the?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dude, Stanley isn't gonna do anything.
Hello? Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
What?
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose.
This is depressing.
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me?
Dude.
Are you there? You listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
Dude, this is so depressing.
Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave the video here. There are so many endings to this game that I cannot cover them in all, like, one singular video. Because if I were to do that, the video would be stupidly long. I still have recorded footage of other endings that I found. If you guys want to see a part 2 to this video, then let's hit 10 likes on this video, and I will release a part 2. So with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next video. I'll see y'all later. Peace out, guys.